Listen as your days unfold. Challenge what your future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You got to be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Herald what your mama said. Read the books your daddy read. Try to solve the puzzles in your own time. Some may have forecast you, others take a different view. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you got to be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you cannot stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. This part is danger, staring you in the face. Listen as your days unfold. Challenge what your future holds. Try to keep your head up to the sky. The lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up, be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. No, you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough. You got to be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love don't save the day. 'Cause I know what I know. I know.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Open Heart Spiritual Center virtual service. And thank you for joining us. And just so grateful for this week, this crisp fall week that we've had, and for all the hustle and bustle and about that has been going on for this week. And just allowing ourselves to take a deep breath in, releasing this breath, and centering ourselves in this moment, in each moment, being grateful and thankful for this time that we have together, being open and receptive to what it is that we've come here to know this day. Even if we've just come here to be present in the gathering virtually of our Open Heart Spiritual Center family. And if you're joining us for the first time, we say that once you're a guest and twice you're family. So welcome. And just allowing ourselves to just be present right here and right now, ready and open and receptive for the message, blessing the messenger and all that have taken a part in today's service. And I am just so grateful for this community. I'm grateful for the message that we send out into the world and that you're a part of it. And I just give great thanks for this time that we have here together, knowing that it is all so well. And together we say, and so it is.
It's a simple song. Sing it with me, y'all. Yeah. 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 La 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 la. Yesterday, a man said to me, he said, "How can you smile when the world is crumbling down?" I said, "Here's my secret. When I want to cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by, and I hold on, hold on. Change is coming, change is coming. Hold on, hold on. Everything, don't worry about a thing. Hold on, you can make it, you can make it. Hold on, hold on. Everything will be alright. Some people like to worry, some people like to hide. Some people like to run away from the pain inside. Now it's your business. Do whatever you want to do. But if it don't work out, here's what you ought to do.
Just hold on.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't worry about a thing.
Hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Everything will be alright. When the troubles in life weigh you down, lift your head up. Yeah, yeah. When the love you seek is hard to find, don't give up. Just be strong. Keep the faith and hold on. Your change is coming. Change is coming. Hold on. Hold on. Everything. Don't worry about a thing. Say hold on. Hold on. Say you can make it. You can make it. Hold on. Hold on. Everything will be alright.
Here's a little simple song, y'all. When trouble seems like it just won't go away, friends got you down, things get bounced around. Here's a little lullaby we like to sing, and it goes a little like this. Come on, yeah.
La la
What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Good morning and welcome to our Heartstream Live for this Sunday, October the 30th, 2022, the last Sunday in the month of October, and we look forward to what the month of November has in store for us. However, this month has been a month of transition, and there have been changes and losses and everything else. And I know that some of you are aware that this week, one of my very dear friends, Sherilyn Payton, transitioned. And Sherilyn was very dear to me, very close person. She loved our family, Emma and I. She was very, very caring for us. She was my sushi buddy. You might have seen me many times talk about being a part of the Talk to the Coaches coaching platform. She was the founder of that. We talked a great deal. She was a big supporter of Open Heart. So many times she would tune into our Heartstream. She would contribute. When I was looking at making some changes and doing some things to expand Open Heart, she was coaching me through that process right before the pandemic and just so many things. I asked that you would keep her children, her two adult children and their families in your prayers. She just had a new baby grandson that had just been born just a couple of weeks ago. And it was all a tremendous shock to each and every one of us. And we want to remember her and continue to hold her family in our prayers. On another note, with regard to transition, this will be the last Sunday that the Reverend Villa Willis serves in the capacity as our assistant minister and spiritual director. It's a bittersweet moment for us, bittersweet moment for me because Villa has been a rock. She has been a valuable resource. Many of you know from the messages that she's been giving each month and beyond, the kinds of ways that with her prayer calls in the mornings, her being a resource for many of you that have reached out to her and she's worked with you. But she has decided, because doors are opening for her and things are happening for her, and she is moving into just some new arenas for her. And as she will tell you, that there are doors opening for her that she didn't even envision initially happening for her, but she had made that commitment that when those things do, she will walk through those doors. So Villa, I wish you the very best. I know that you are not just disappearing from us, but you are working with us and will be a part of us in a totally different way. We continue to love you, and we know completely who you are, and we see you as a powerful, dynamic expression of God. There's a term that I've used for women in my life over a number of years now. I call them soaring sisters. And those are those who are dynamic and powerful and who actually are soaring in the things that they do. And Villa, you certainly are a soaring sister. Wish you all the best. To each and every one of you, thank you for your support, for all that you do. And I greet you. I bless you. I see God in you.
Our affirmation for the month of October: reaping a prosperous harvest. My life is filled with God's abundance, expressing as perfect and fabulous life experiences, serving me completely. I allow abundance, prosperity, and well-being to flow into my life. And so it is.
Good morning. Today's affirmative reading comes from the book Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. For those of you who are not familiar with the book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull is a gull who wanted to fly higher and faster and farther than any other seagull. He spent a lot of his time practicing on rising and flying faster, practicing tricks. At one point in the book, he dies and goes to heaven. I will be reading excerpts from after he died. So this is heaven, he thought, and he had to smile at himself. It was hardly respectful to analyze heaven in the very moment that one flies up to enter it. At 250 miles per hour, he felt that he was nearing his level flight maximum speed. At 273, he thought that he was flying as fast as he could fly, and he was ever so faintly disappointed. There was a limit to how much the new body could do, and though it was much faster than his old level flight record, it was still a limit that would take great effort to crack. In heaven, he thought, there should be no limits. One evening, the gulls that were not night flying stood together on the sand, thinking. Jonathan took all his courage in hand and walked to the elder gull who, it was said, was soon to be moving beyond this world. Chang, he said a little nervously. The old seagull looked at him kindly. Yes, my son? Instead of being enfeebled by age, the elder had been empowered by it. He could outfly any gull in the flock, and he had learned skills that the others were only gradually coming to know. Chang, this world isn't heaven at all, is it? The elder smiled in the moonlight. You are learning again, Jonathan Seagull, he said. Well, what happens from here? Where are we going? Is there no such place as heaven? No, Jonathan, there's no such place as heaven. Heaven is not a place, and it is not a time. Heaven is being perfect. He was silent for a moment. You are a very fast flyer, aren't you? I enjoy speed, Jonathan said, taken aback but proud that the elder had noticed. You will begin to touch heaven, Jonathan, in the moment that you touch perfect speed. And that isn't flying 1,000 miles an hour or 1,000,000 or flying at the speed of light, because any number is a limit and perfection doesn't have limits. Perfect speed, my son, is being there. Without warning, Chang vanished and appeared at the water's edge, 50 feet away, all in the flicker of an instant. Then he vanished again and stood in the same millisecond at Jonathan's shoulder. It's kind of fun, he said. And Jonathan said, I want to learn to fly like that. And a strange light glowed in his eye. Tell me what to do. Chang spoke slowly and watched the younger gull ever so carefully. To fly as fast as thought, to anywhere that is, he said, you must begin by knowing that you have already arrived. And so it is.
Hey, 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 here come the announcements.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day. Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
The month of October is a time when we recognize many, many things. Two that are quite important are breast cancer and domestic violence. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you need more information, resources, other things about breast cancer, you can go to nationalbreastcancer.org to get information from the National Breast Cancer Foundation's website. It lists symptoms, it lists resources, it lists support groups. There's a lot of information there. In the case of domestic violence, which is something that indeed is very serious, the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799 7233 is another resource. You can go to their website, domesticviolence.org, but if it's something that's more immediate, then the hotline I recommend calling. If you know someone who needs these resources, this is an opportunity to pass this information on. In case you missed it during the Namaste moment, this will be the last Sunday that the Reverend Villa Willis will be serving as our assistant minister, spiritual director. She is having so many great things happen for her, and she has decided that it is time to walk through some new doors. We thank you, Villa, for all of the things that you have done for Open Heart, the messages that you have brought us that have been empowering and inspiring, the way that you helped us with the prayer team, with your prayers, the way that you have just been a resource there for people within the Open Heart community who've reached out to you and you've worked with, and the greater community at large. It's exciting to see what's happening for you, and we wish you all the best. We love you, and we know that you're not going away. Just a new capacity, and we know it's going to be stellar. We want to extend our congratulations to our friends at Unity Christian Church in Whitehaven for celebrating their 70th anniversary. They've got a number of events that they have in store for us this month. They've invited us, and you'll be able to see the full list of events on our website. But again, congratulations and happy anniversary. Our daily affirmative prayer call takes place each and every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. Dial in as one of our prayer team members shares an inspirational reading and then prays for you, all in about 7 minutes. At Open Heart, we believe in the power of affirmative prayer. We don't beg or plead God to do anything, but we set our intention and recognize God expressing itself in, through, and as each and every person. As such, all of these individuals and families that are represented here, we see them healed, we see them comforted, we see them strengthened, we see them encouraged, we see whatever it is that they have a need for and a desire for, and we hold the space for them, knowing it's already done in the mind of God. And so it is. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater and greater flow. We have ways in which you can give and support Open Heart through Cash App. Our cash tag is OHSC901. You can go online to our website, OHSC901.com. Click on the word give and contribute there. Or you can text the word give to 615-422-4292. Infinite prosperity is mine to share. I am blessed. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you to all of you who have signed up to support us through Amazon Smile. If you haven't done so, you can do so today. Enough to bear the burdens that sometimes comes living this thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork of the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place life of grace and wholeness. Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has its being. We are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has its being. We are the place. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I tell you, it I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. All right. Woo! I got the T-shirt. It says I'm the place. I bought it from his website. It says I'm the place where God.
Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me.
I welcome you to the centering moment. Let us take just a few seconds to breathe in and out. Let us breathe in and out. And in this moment, let us be centered in the truth that we are forever prosperous and one with the unlimited source of all that there is. And let us breathe in and out. And so it is. Good morning, Open Heart family. And wow, we are at almost the last day of October. Like John said before, this month has flown by. So happy almost end of October. And I'm glad to be with all of you today on this Heartstream. All right, my talk title today is Have It Abundantly. And the talk text is John 10:10. The thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Let's just take a deep breath in and out. Our text today comes from the fourth gospel. This gospel is attributed to John, one of the disciples of Jesus, and it is very different from the other three canonical gospels. Matthew has Master Teacher Jesus as the fulfiller of Old Testament prophecy. So even at the beginning of his ministry, Matthew will tell this story. Now, when Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he departed to Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came to dwell in Capernaum, which is by the sea, in the regions of Zebulun and Naphtali, that he might fulfill which was spoken by the prophet Isaiah, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light, and upon those who sat in the region and the shadow of death, light has dawned. So he takes this Old Testament prophecy and says that by Master Teacher Jesus being in this area, he is fulfilling that. And that, if you go and take a look at Matthew, you will see that Jesus did this to fulfill this. Jesus did this to fulfill this. So that's sort of the Matthew's viewpoint. Even having the genealogy of Jesus begin, so-and-so begat, to show that Jesus is a part of the Davidic ministry, the Davidic lineage, and therefore qualified, right, to be the Messiah. Luke has Jesus as the magician. He's the healer and the exorcist, constantly showing that he has authority over demons or authority over dark and lower energies. So in Luke, that's where we get that magical birth narrative. There's angels and shepherds and wise men and stars. And, when Jesus is presented at the temple, Anna, the lady there, I've been waiting for the Messiah. And then even Jesus himself in the temple, this elevated young man, this elevated child. And so he's always presented that way. The first miracle in Luke is an exorcism, or he casts a demon out of someone, and then he does healing. And so you'll see that all throughout Luke. Now, Mark is the shortest of the Gospels. They attribute it to Mark as the writer, but taking the stories given to him by the Apostle Peter. And so the Gospel of Mark sort of shortened to the facts. Here's the beginning, this is what happened, and then the end. But when we come to the Gospel of John, there is no birth narrative. It's in the beginning was the Word. He goes way back, right, beyond the divine beginning of Master Teacher Jesus and takes it to a divine cosmic beginning. And there's not a lot of miracles in the book of John. This book is really the theology and the philosophy of Master Teacher Jesus. The book of John has the 7 I am statements. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the true vine. And then in John we find one of the most powerful philosophical, theological, ontological statements from John 10:30. I and my Father are one. That proclamation of his oneness with the divine got the Pharisees and Sadducees all upset. They were ready to throw rocks at him and stone him, but somehow he got away. So there is a powerful theology at work in this gospel. And so to have it more abundantly is a part of that theological concept, that philosophical way of thinking and seeing and being in this world. So when I talk about life and have it more abundantly, when I take a look at the context of this scripture and this book in the Bible, I see that to me, and what I will present through the rest of our time together, that having life more abundantly is one, the result of living and embodying the truth of our oneness. I and the divine are one. And that the 7 I am statements are roadmaps to doing that. So in the time we have left together, I want to take a look at 3 of the 7 statements for clues to having life and having it more abundantly. Now, what I love about all the 7 statements and the 3 that we'll look at is they begin with I am. And I am is a present tense statement. It is about living in the now. To live life and live it more abundantly, you cannot be stuck in the past or worrying or trying to, create the future. By living in the present moment, we are open to living the life we have and enjoying it now. Maybe because I'm new to this area, but I love the fall. Our tree in the front yard in the spring and summer, she is resplendent in her beautiful green leaves. So gorgeous. I just sent Lily some pictures. I said, look at her now. She is outfitted in her fuchsia leaves, looking so gorgeous wearing her fall outfit. And she will eventually release all those leaves and stand bare, beautiful, in her silver and white glory. But if you and I are so busy, just let me get in the car, let me go here, let me do this, let me go down to the mailbox, we will miss the beauty that is around us. I am right now enjoying the beauty of our tree. Can you right now in this moment even become present to how you're feeling, to what is going on around you, to the gorgeousness of wherever you are watching this at? To be present in this moment is to have life and to have it more abundantly. That awareness, that embodiment of it, that enjoyment of it happens in this present moment. So let's take a look at our 3 I am statements. I am the bread of life, I am the door of the sheep, and I am the light of the world. I am the bread of life. Bread, bread is the sustenance. Every culture has bread or some kind of carb that is the base foundation. It is the foundation and the source of life. And are you and I the bread of life? By living in this I am moment, do we bring sustenance, life, to each and every situation, to every conversation and interaction? As living in the now, as the bread of life, we should be enhancing and increasing all that we touch and everywhere we go. Our energy is not to deplete or to decrease. We are the bread of life, that which gives sustenance, that which sustains, that which helps gird you up, that which helps you make it through. That is what it means to live in the now. Having life more abundantly, being full of every good thing. What are you serving yourselves? I have to even get on myself about sitting and playing on my phone and watching Instagram and TikTok. I have, for my business, I have books to read and trainings to do. But how am I feeding my soul? What is the sustenance that you and I are taking in? Because you are what you eat, and I am what we eat. And so just like, if you eating, I'm going to say chitlins and hog maws and all that stuff, you see the result it's had on our community. And if you're always eating barbecue and fried chicken, that's what's going to be in your system. And when your body needs some vegetables and some lighter meat, it's not going to have that to call upon, right? And so when we are at a place to where we can be the sustenance, what is the food that we are bringing forth? Are we bringing forth the knowledge of our oneness, so we're not going to participate in conversations that are divisive or blaming, and that we understand that even people that we dislike are still the essence of the divine, and so that we bring that meal with us. I am the door of the sheep, or I am the door. The beautiful thing about a door is it lets you in and it lets you out. That the door is the invitation to stand in both worlds. That we are in the world but not of it. We are one with the divine. And that means we supersede the world. We are bigger than this temporal placement that we find ourselves in. That just like John began his gospel in the beginning, just like Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, was the Word, that there is a cosmic, a bigger way, and that if we can open that door to a bigger way of being, a more divine way of being, a more spiritual infused way of being, we become a transformative and beneficial presence where we go. We are the inlet, as Ernest Holmes says, we are the inlet and outlet of God. And what this world needs more is a touch of the divine. And it doesn't happen by God, God is not outside of us, but if God was a person outside of us, by God's hands touching things. These are God's hands. Your hands are God's hands. Our words are God's words. And so for this door, this inlet and outlet, this place of the presence, it starts in us and through us. And then our last word, I am the light of the world. Light brings clarity, hope, and clears away the darkness. And when we are in the now, and we are sustenance and filled with those things, our divine knowing, our connection with our Christ consciousness, feeding ourselves songs. I love Ricky Byers and Deborah Pamon, listening to that type of music, feeding my soul. But you know what? Jazz does that for me too, feeding my soul. So we can have a smile on our face. Speaking kindly, I had such an amazing weekend with friends and people. And then I'm able to pour out and give from that overflow of the substance. And then being a door, allowing the divine to flow, to move, and to groove, and then to be that light. This is what we're called to be in every space, to let our conversations, like light, bring clarity, not confusion, to let our interactions engender hope and not despair, and to let our very presence clear away darkness. In this series, John and I have talked about prosperity, money, being full of ourselves, and forgiveness. All of these actions happen in the now. When we are living in the I am energy, the right now finite I am, and in the infinite I am, we are bringing that good to overflowing. We are bringing that life and having that life more abundantly. I end our time together with a goodbye. There is a time and season for everything, and my time of serving this community as the assistant minister has come to an end. I am grateful for the love and support of this community, and I'm not going anywhere. It's just that I am changing as so much around me is changing, and the original thing that brought me here, which is to serve this community in a bigger way. Doors are opening for me to do that. And the promise that I made to Spirit when I came here was, for every door you open, I will walk through boldly. And it's my time now to do that in new and different arenas, even places that I didn't expect to find myself. I am so grateful for the support of John Gilmore. Every woman in ministry wishes they had a male minister who empowered them, who believed in them. And John, I don't have the words to say what a wonderful person you are. And so I'll just say, you're a wonderful person. And so I say my goodbye. Actually, I say my see you later. And I'm just transforming and evolving to being a part of this community in a new way. I love each and every one of you. My family, Gail, Lily, and I, and my mama, send you love. And thank you for all that you have done for us. And you'll see us again. Blessings and namaste.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. You are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. Gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. No.